Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, over the past few years, there has been a growing distrust between the media and the public, with so many different opinions and things like fake news on the rise. But during this time of global epidemic, the media has one of the most important roles to play. Journalists like Adam Welz have the crucial job of getting the facts right and making sure that the public is informed. He has been researching the coronavirus and its effects, gathering information from credible sources and consulting with healthcare professionals. Now he joins us now on the phone. Hi, Adam.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. I know, unfortunately, you couldn't be here in the loft, but we definitely do appreciate your input at such a crucial time, and South Africa's looking for answers.
Yes.
Absolutely. Now, I'm just going to go straight right ahead into it, Adam. What motivated you to probe into acquiring more knowledge and, of course, conducting further information and ongoing research on coronavirus?
Well, I trained as a biologist, but I've worked in the media my whole life, and I started hearing reports from a contact in Asia quite early on about how this virus was spreading in China, and I immediately realized it was a serious problem, especially after speaking with some medical experts, international epidemiologists, and so on, of my acquaintance.
Wow, it does sound like something that can shake almost anyone when you first interact with the news of it. So I know, for instance, one of the things that you have a bit of an issue or concerns with is the message from the government about the gathering of people within one space. You felt like it was rather ambiguous and it did not communicate in the correct tone. So in regards to that, how would you have preferred this matter to be addressed?
Yeah, I think it needs to be very clear to people that it's not only people that look sick that can give you the virus. A lot of people can get this coronavirus and they appear completely healthy, but they're very infectious. They are passing this virus around all over the place. And I've seen a lot of messaging saying you should avoid sick people. That's not really the correct message. The message should be that you should avoid everybody. You should maintain a good distance of at least 2 meters from everybody when you're out in public, because you don't know who is sick and who is not. The other thing is that, you must really emphasize that any gathering of any group in any place, no matter how many people, even if it's 5 people, can be passing the virus around. Just because the president banned all gatherings of over 100 people doesn't mean you are magically safe if you're with fewer than 100 people. You really should be avoiding all people at all times.
Yeah, that sounds crucial to me right now, because a lot of people misunderstand what it is to socially distance yourself and put yourself in that self-isolation and quarantine space, which we'll dive into a little bit later. But for now, I just want to find out and kind of suss out the environment and the temperature here. Now, you've conducted extensive research and engaged with healthcare professionals, including those in the epidemiology. Now, what's the general consensus when it comes to the health fraternity on this virus?
You know, people are really, really worried everywhere, because one of the main reasons being the speed at which this virus moves. It is incredibly infectious, much more so than other similar viruses. It is very easy to pass from person to person. And combined with the fact that people who have it often appear healthy, that means it can spread incredibly quickly through the population before anyone even realizes that it is spread. And you go from a situation where everything feels completely normal to a situation where everything is in chaos and the hospitals are completely overwhelmed with thousands of patients, sometimes in as short a period of a matter of days, but certainly weeks. So that is, I think, the scary thing the experts really, really worry about the most, and why we're so worried here in South Africa that our health resources could be overwhelmed.
Absolutely, and it sounds like this ripple effect keeps showing up time and time again, especially with the whole 2-week, 14-day time period from contracting the disease to when essentially some people or the majority of people are seeing the symptoms showing up within themselves. And it is in that time period that we see people reinfecting or affecting other people, and as so comes that this ripple effects will just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and ultimately we will see our hospitals and our healthcare environments jam-packed and overloaded with patients, so much so that they're unable to keep up. So, Adam, my question to you is, right now it seems that the sentiment is that we're on it, we're above it, and we can conquer it. But as more cases seem to come up, are you afraid that this might not be the case and we might be overwhelmed?
Yeah, I definitely feel there's a very strong chance that that we will be overwhelmed. Many of our hospitals are already in trouble, and the point being, if we become overwhelmed with COVID patients, if those patients take up all the beds in the hospital, then we don't have beds for people that are in car crashes, for example. We don't have beds for people that have had heart attacks, and that really concerns me. The other thing is we have many people in South Africa who already have pre-existing conditions like diabetes or hypertension, or they're overweight, or they're immunocompromised. And all of those things make it much more likely that the coronavirus will hit them very, very hard. So we might have a large section of our population really needing medical care. And if we don't slow down the virus right now, early on, before it seems to be a problem, then we can run into some serious, serious problems just a couple of weeks down the line.
This is very scary, everything that you're saying, but it's the reality. It's what's happening right now, and it's our responsibility, rather, to be ahead of it at every point, making sure that we're ahead of the curve and that South Africa doesn't experience it. But it's so weird, Adam, to hear you speak about people in car crashes and heart attacks, because it's almost unfathomable that life continues, that so much more is happening above and beyond this virus. So with life continuing, it has to go asked. This virus saying that we need to quarantine ourselves, self-isolate ourselves, social distancing. I mean, we hear these words being thrown around very loosely and very frivolously. Now, do people really understand what this entails and what it actually means, that life can't continue?
No. I mean, for myself, what I've been doing for over 10 days now is my whole family is in the home pretty much at all times. We don't have any visitors coming. We don't have anybody entering or leaving the house except for ourselves. If our family comes, they stand outside and we talk over the fence with at least 2 meters in between us. We sometimes go for walks just to get some fresh air, but we make sure we stay at 2 meters away from everybody while we're out there. And we also only go shopping once per week. And one of us will go out, and when we come home, we make sure we wash our hands before we enter the house. We take our shoes off. We sometimes even take our outer clothes off in case we have touched someone or encountered the virus out there. And then we handle the food items quite carefully, bearing in mind that somebody might have touched them in the supermarket before we brought them home. So it's really being very, very careful to minimize all your contact with the outside world as much as you can, but then also spending time on the phone, speaking to your neighbors across the fence, maintaining your social interactions, but keeping a physical distance between you and other people.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Adam, for all of this information. Taking nothing for granted is what's key here. And we definitely appreciate journalists like yourself who go ahead of it and make sure that we're all clued up to all things COVID-19. We appreciate you, Adam. Now, after the break, we turn our focus of our conversation to mental health, especially amongst young men in disadvantaged communities. So we'll see you after the break.